because I'm the one modding, I'll be here. I'm just gonna post up the pictures and stuff. Okay. Okay, so I am. No worries, Manisha. No, I'm just introducing the ingredients right now. So the first ingredients is I'm posting up the wikis for each one right now, just because I feel like they do a better explanation than I do. So give me a quick second. Sorry, I'm modding my own channel today, so. Yes. Okay, cool. So now that I've posted up the Wikipedia articles for both of these sauces, I think that'll be a little bit easier for people to like kind of know what these two are. Again, they both say sweet soy bean paste or sweetened soy bean paste. Unfortunately, English doesn't properly describe them. They're two different things. So this one is like a traditional, like just fermented bean paste. So this one's I wouldn't really say it's sweet as it is just like, I guess, just bean sauce. It's kind of like the Korean sauce. Like this one's the closest one to the Korean sauce, that the Korean fermented soybean paste that you would find. Also, sorry, Kyle's watching something really funny, so you'll hear him like giggling in the background. I have no idea what he's watching, but it must be hilarious. Okay, and then the tianmianjiang, which is this other one, is it's basically Chinese teriyaki sauce, is how I guess Wikipedia kind of described it. I don't really know how to describe it because I've never really had to describe it in English before. So, yeah. So this is like Chinese teriyaki sauce, and it's also bean based. But yeah. So you mix these two together to make the black bean sauce for the noodles. And then to add salt, I'm just using plain old soy sauce. You can use dark soy sauce, which is soy sauce, but it's actually, they call it dark soy sauce, but the funny thing about dark soy sauce is that dark soy sauce, I've said dark soy sauce way too many times in one sitting. But anyways, so dark soy sauce is actually less salty than soy sauce. Than your regular old soy sauce, because it's mainly used for like flavor and color, whereas the regular soy sauce is actually used for saltiness. So yeah. So the cool thing about at least the tianmianjiang, the Chinese teriyaki sauce, is it's vegan. I don't know if this one is vegan or not. It should be. Yeah, so water, soybean, wheat, flour, salt, food additives, which is just potassium sorbate to make it so it doesn't expire, or not expire, but like so it doesn't mold or anything later on. So yeah, so this whole dish can be made vegan / vegetarian if you just don't add the meat. So one of the ingredients for this is ground pork, which I'm gonna add later, and that's why I have my my cooking wine out. So that's going to get rid of some of that really gross porkiness. And so this is just literally dried tofu. So I don't know if you guys have ever seen this before, but it's just spiced. It's basically braised dried tofu. We're just gonna cut that up into little chunks, and we're gonna put it into the sauce. So between the mixture of the two bean pastes, the soy sauce, the dried tofu, and the garlic, and obviously the noodles that we have to. I'm using spinach noodles today because I'm just trying to get rid of it. But yeah, it's just dried noodles. I'm gonna boil it up later. But between these 5 ingredients, it can be made vegan. Like, it can be made vegan, it can be made vegetarian. Just don't put the meat in it, and you're fine. I have my my ground pork defrosting because I made the mistake of not defrosting it earlier. So yeah, we have to keep that to the last bit. Okay, cool. So I'm going to go ahead and start prepping my dish. And you guys get to see my terrible knife work again. So yeah. Hi Chandra, thank you so much. Oh, also you guys, I'm so excited to show you guys. My dad fixed my knife for me. So he retempered the blade and everything, so that's why it looks kind of off. But like, it's so much sharper. So he was able to retemper my really old chef's knife and sharpen it for me. So yeah, isn't that cool? Hopefully he did a good job. I haven't used it yet. So all right, so we are going to tackle the dried tofu first. Honestly, like, the cool thing that I love about this kind of this tofu is that you can just eat it. Like, it's already cooked. It's already been braised in spices. Like, it's not actually spicy, even though it says it's spiced. But, yeah. It's literally just braised dried tofu. Here. Cut off a little bit. I'll taste it. Yeah. It's just dried tofu. It's not actually salty. You actually have to put it into like more of a braising solution to make it salty and add more flavor. But otherwise, it just tastes like really, really hard. Like, the texture is just like really hard, and it's just tofu. Because the more you press tofu, the harder it gets, or the stronger it gets. Okay, so I have to do something really dangerous, but I don't want to do that. So today I actually have my anti-slip mat underneath the cooking board because I actually have to do some really delicate knife work in terms of chunking this out. But yeah, so this week is my birthday week. Thank you for everyone for showing up and celebrating with me. So, as promised on my social media, I'm actually going to be talking a little bit about, so we want to get it like this. Actually, we should really get it smaller. It needs to be like this, but also like, meh. Okay. I guess I'll just do that. Ugh. It's going to take a while. My knife work is not... I don't have the strongest knife work, I will admit. So, bear with me, everyone. Sorry. But yeah, as promised on my social media, I will be talking about Taiwanese birthday customs that we have. So one of the things that I wanted to start off with is... So one of our traditions when you're really young, for your first birthday, I don't know if they do this I know they do this in Korea and like, I think Japan as well. Most Eastern Asian countries do this, I think. But basically, it's called zua zao or something like that. I don't really remember it. My parents didn't do it because they weren't, I asked my mom if I did it or if they did it for me, and she said no because they weren't aware of the tradition. Because they're not, like, my parents are not very traditional people. So, like, that's, like, both good and weird in the same time, because I didn't grow up with a lot of, like, really traditional Taiwanese traditions. But so I'm kind of, like, relearning them on my own now, which I feel like is very common for, like, the Asian American diaspora. But anyways, so one of the things that you do, if you've ever watched Avatar: The Last Airbender, that tradition, that ritual is what they use to choose the avatar. So they laid down 12 different like toys or items in front of the baby, and whatever the baby chooses, they end up, like, it's basically kind of a way to kind of like predict what your child's like future job is going to be, or what their future personality is going to be like. So it's like 12 items, and yeah, they just lay it in front of the baby and during, like, on their first birthday, and just let them choose. And then it's kind of like a fun little way to, like, predict what your child's going to be interested in, what they're going to do with, like, what they're going to do for a job, what industry they might go into, stuff like that. So yeah, so I was really happy to see that that was how they chose the avatar in Avatar: The Last Airbender. So that thing that they that ritual that they showed on the show is very much a very real ritual that people still do to this day. It's really nice. So one of the reasons why I am actually cooking noodles today is because one of the things that we do, this is actually something, when it comes to, like, the food practices or the food traditions, that's what my parents really kind of focused on when I was younger. So basically the reason why I'm cooking noodles today is because noodles actually represent longevity. So it's something that you're supposed to eat on your birthday. Like, it's supposed to be part of your birthday banquet or your birthday meal. So it's supposed to be like, the longer your noodles are, the longer you're gonna live. So they attribute we attribute longevity with noodles. Another thing that we eat during this, this is only, you really only eat it when you're older. But one of the things that we eat during birthdays as well is longevity buns. You guys might have seen this before. They're like little dessert buns with, like, red bean or, like, lotus paste in the middle, and they look like little peaches. I used to call them, like, butt buns. But yeah, so they're only really for older people. So if you're someone like my age, you wouldn't necessarily oh, I'm sorry. Oh no, you were timed out. I'm sorry. But yeah, like, the peach buns are really only for the older crowd, because they're supposed to, like, represent, like, oh, you've made it to this age. It's a celebration of their age, and to, you know, kind of like say, like, oh, well, we hope you live longer. So that's why people my age wouldn't necessarily get the peach buns, but my parents' age, like my parents, on their birthdays, their friends actually send over, like, they order, like, the peach buns for them as a gift. Do I think the toy tradition relates to reincarnation at all? Similar to the dollar? Yeah, okay. So, I don't really know. I've also, like, I've thought about that too. I feel like that tradition, it's like depending on the sect of Buddhism or depending on your religion, means different things. But when it comes to like cultural practices of Buddhism, like, or what I like to call household Buddhism, which is what I was really raised with, like maybe like for us it's more just simple, like, oh yeah, like this is just a fun way to predict what my like child will do in the future, da 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 da. But like when it comes to, I guess, certain Buddhist religions and practices and sects, like I guess it means something different, because I know that that's how they used to pick like the Dalai Lama and stuff. But also, like, I don't know. I want to say I believe in reincarnation. I do. I think because of my, like, because when I was younger, like, my parents were Buddhist, or my mom was Buddhist. My dad is the equivalent. My dad is like a Buddhist shaman. He never, like, kind of stopped doing, like, mysticism and stuff. So, but I wasn't ever really raised traditionally Buddhist or in any sect of Buddhism. Like, I wasn't raised Taoist or anything like that. I was just, I don't know. I don't really know how to describe the Buddhism that I was raised in, as it is really just kind of my dad's thing because he was a shaman. So, yeah. Interesting tidbit about myself. My dad is a Buddhist shaman. And that is forever out there on the internet. But yeah, so I honestly, like, I don't see why not. I can totally see how, like, something like that could be like, oh yeah, it ties into, like, your past life. And I think in, like, any ritual, especially, like, spiritual ritual, it's what your intention is. Like, what's the intention behind you doing this ritual, you know? I was raised Catholic. I don't follow any particular faith now, but I totally believe in reincarnation. Like, exactly. Like, that's kind of a thing. Like, you don't really need to, like, remake people. It's just about, like, there's so many, at least in terms of reincarnation with the Buddhist ideal, it's the fact that, like, there's lessons you have to learn with every cycle of your rebirth. And depending on whether or not you learn those lessons, like, you know, you get reincarnated as a different thing. But the idea is that you learn these things by reliving your life over and over again so that you can reach enlightenment. Enlightenment being, like, you know, like Buddha. You reach the Buddha state. Which I feel like in terms of, like, Avatar: The Last Airbender, that's very much what they were, like, kind of alluding to. Was, like, the Avatar state is the enlightened state. Oop. But anywho, yeah. So today I'm making noodles because it's kind of a family tradition for you to eat noodles on your birthday for longevity. And I really, really like black bean noodles. Like, it's one of my favorite noodles. So, oof. Maybe I shouldn't have worn this midriff shirt. I should just smash these. I don't know what I'm doing. Crushed garlic. So I'm not going to be really precious with these. I'm just going to, like, kind of just cut them up. They're just going to go into the sauce. I'm not going to, like, dice them really pretty or anything like that. I'm just going to get them in. something that I like to do because since Kyle taught me how to do it, and it's just a really fun way to do it. I'm just gonna smash this garlic with my hammer. With the spiky side, and it actually saves me a ton of time. For it to be all smashed like that. Then I just go in and oh shit! This is what happens when you work with a small kitchen, you guys. Good job. Good job, me. It's okay. I cleaned my countertops before I started the stream. Freaking small countertops. I swear to God, the next apartment or the next house that I move into, I'm going to get a proper kitchen. Oh, what am I doing? Yeah, at least I clean. Good Lord. I used to work in the restaurant industry a lot for a while. I was like a server for like 3 years. So I am all about like keeping things clean, and my kitchen's always really, really clean. So that's something I'm actually really proud of. But yeah, so small kitchen equals small space, and sometimes accidents like that happen, but it's okay. Continue chopping up my garlic. All right. Okay. What is happening here? Okay. All right, so this is basically it. That's all the prep that's kind of all the prep I really need to do. Right now, the only thing that I really, really need to do is mix my sauces. Yeah, I think this bowl's gonna be too small. There's garlic skin on it. Okay. Whew. So I'm just gonna go in. Unfortunately, I don't really know. I'm gonna go by taste, so I don't really know the true measurements for it, but it should be okay. So this is the saltier one. Let me taste it. Yeah. When they say sweetened, they lie. This is so freaking salty, you guys. They lie. It basically tastes like soy sauce, but in like super pasty form. Okay, and now for the sweeter sauce, the quote-unquote Chinese teriyaki sauce. I want to say you want to do equal parts of both, but like also it just depends on like your level, like how sweet you want it. I like mine just a little bit more on the sweet side. Yeah, that's pretty good. So when I say sweet, I don't mean sugar sweet. This is not like a sugary sweet sauce. It's just sweeter than the other one. Then you just mix it. And then I'm gonna taste it. So you're actually supposed to garnish this with julienned cucumbers, but I forgot to buy a cucumber, so I'm not doing that. I know, blasphemous. Sue me. Oh, that's really good. Okay. So this is like super, super condensed sauce. I'm actually going to have, when I actually make the sauce, I'm going to have to add some water to this just to kind of like even it out and stuff. So just so you guys know. Okay. So I'm going to actually do the cooking now. So I'm going to move you guys. Hi, everybody. It's my birthday week. I am going to... Sorry. Oh my god, you guys get to see how messy my apartment is. Because I don't have cupboards in this apartment. So everything has to be on racks, like at a restaurant. Like the back room of a restaurant. Okay, so... I'm going to turn you guys down here. This is my wok. It's not a true to form real wok, but it's my wok, and I like it. It's cute. And then I have my pot here ready for the noodles whenever I'm ready to do that. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead, turn up the heat. Turn on the heat, pre-warm up the pan so it's not going into like so it's not going completely into a cold pan. And I'm just gonna go ahead and wait for that to heat up. Just a little bit of oil because I'm actually gonna fry up the garlic first to really, I guess, activate the aroma of the garlic. And in Mandarin we call it bao xiang, which means like fry fragrance, like to bring out the fragrance of it. So yeah, it's interesting things, y'all. Aw, thank you, Chandra. I'm honestly like really self-conscious about like having all of my whole pantry exposed, and it's like very much like a restaurant vibe because I also have a super tiny kitchen. So thank you for saying that. Everything's exposed. It's very, very much like a restaurant. Like the back room of a restaurant. Okay. So I'm just gonna let that fry a little bit. Really fast. I'm also gonna turn on the quick boil here. Get some water into that. So the noodles, water will be ready. Noodle water. Alright, that's already good to go. I had to do a quick defrost with the pork, which I don't really recommend you to do. Yeah. I don't really recommend anyone to do that, but I forgot to defrost my pork earlier, so I had to put the pork in some water to help it defrost quicker. So this is a dried pork, this is a ground pork. If you want to make it vegetarian or vegan, don't put the pork in. Don't buy pork. Use all the other ingredients. Alright, so I added about 2 capfuls of the cooking rice wine. And what that's going to do is kind of help get rid of that like super like raw porky taste. And it's going to make everything blend really well. Using the cooking wine is kind of like the same reason why, you know, in French cooking they use wine to cook. If that makes sense. So we're just gonna let that ruminate with the garlic. I hope I mixed enough sauce. Yes, all that awesome pork fat. Yeah, so like I said, this is such a quick recipe. Like maybe an hour from prep to start, and like from start to end to eating. And it's only 6:30, and I'm basically almost done already. So that's a good thing. So I'm just gonna let this kind of sit in the cooking wine for a little bit. And the garlic. And I'm gonna bring over my other ingredients. Soy sauce if I need it. Throw away the bag with the pork bag. Okay, so this seems like a really good stopping point, or not stopping point, but a really good point to promote my charity of the day, or charity of the stream. If you check out the chat, I posted up a link. That link is actually for my friend Amy. My friend Amy is a music teacher over at Long Beach for, I think, a middle school. I forgot the name of the middle school. You can see it on the page. But that's her donors choose page, because right now, a lot of her students aren't able to, because of COVID and due to at-home learning, a lot of her students don't actually have a quiet space for her class, or for classes. So what she's trying to do is raise money to get headphones to each of her students. I think for that amount of money, for the money that she's raising, you're going to be able to give headphones to 999 students, so almost 1,000 students. So, you know, every dollar counts. Support your local teachers. This is my way of kind of helping support her. Support her in her teaching. So if anyone could, if you have any, like an extra $1 or $5, $10 lying around, please consider donating to my friend Amy so that she can get headphones for all her students. Ooh. And, you know, I know a lot of people who watch me are also within the entertainment industry, so we all know how important it is for kids to get their, like, music lessons, to get acting lessons, to get performance lessons early on, and how much we actually need to do to help protect the arts. So, yeah, I hope you guys consider donating to her. Donors Choose campaign. The link is in the chat. If anyone missed the link, by all means, tell me and I'll repost it. But, okay, cool. So here we are. This is the fat from the pork. I'm gonna go ahead and, the thing about the black bean sauce is you actually have to kind of like fry it up a little bit. So that's what I'm gonna do. You have to do, the cooking method that I'm doing, the ingredients are a little different, but the cooking method that I'm cooking the noodles right now is basically the same cooking method as if I was making the Korean version. So, yeah. Just letting that fry a little bit. Alright, so today I am feeding about 4 people. So, my water is ready to go. Turn down the heat for that a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and put in my chunks of noodles. So this is like I really like these noodles because they're really thick. And these are made with, I think, spinach. Yes, spinach noodles. Alright, so each block is like a serving. I have 5, so I'm just going to go ahead and put in all 5 because it's fine. Alright, and just let that chill. And here we are with the sauce. Ooh, this is spitting. Oh no! It's dried out near the bottom, but that's okay. Gonna go ahead and put in our tofu. Mix that all the way up, and I'm gonna add in some water now. About a cupful of water. I need to turn on the heat for that. Aha. Alright. And then so you just kind of cook this down. It'll cook down, it'll like stew everything in it. It'll be really good. Ah. No! Dropped my spatula, but I got it. Yeah, so even with the noodle sauce, not really the noodle sauce, but with all the sauce in it, it's just gonna slowly start reducing down and stew everything in it. Let me taste it. Yeah. It's gonna thicken up and it's gonna be really tasty. I'm actually going to add a little bit, just because like, it's personal preference, you don't have to if you like yours a little bit more on the saltier side. But I like mine a little bit on the sweeter side, which is why I like the Korean style one a little bit better. But I'm actually going to go ahead and add in a teaspoon of stevia because, well, 2 teaspoons of stevia. Because I have to keep everything sugar-free. Or as sugar-free as I possibly can. So I'm adding in that little bit of stevia just to give it a little bit of a sweeter taste to it. I'm going to turn down the heat, let it kind of just simmer and reduce down a little bit. If it doesn't reduce down to the level that I want, I'm just going to go ahead and add in a little bit of that, some cornstarch slurry and like really just kind of like thicken it up and, you know, prep it for it. Yeah. I dig that. 100%. Alright, you... Whatever are you doing? Ooh, perfect. Oh, these noodles cook so quickly. I love it. See how quickly they cook? Quick, easy, and soft. Alright. Give that, I want to say, let me taste it. Okay. Needs another, I want to say another minute. Turn up the heat on that. Just a little bit more water in here. I think I'm going to go ahead and thicken it up with a slurry just because I like the amount of sauce ratio that we have going here. I feel like if I reduce it any more, it's just going to get a little too salty. Yeah. Right? I have my cornstarch on the side here. Not going to add too much, just a little bit. I'm going to turn it into a slurry. Cold water. Don't ever make cornstarch slurry with hot water because it's just going to cook it and you're just going to get blobs of like weirdness. So I have a slurry of cold water and cornstarch here that I think I've mixed thoroughly. I can feel that. Yeah. Yeah, this is nice. I'm just gonna go ahead and pour all that in because I didn't put that much into it. Gonna heat it up, turn up the heat. Yes, and there we go, and it thickens. Yes, thicken, my child, thicken. noodle sauce. And that's it. Oh man, there's a lot of oil in this. Not that it's a bad thing, it's just oil from the pork. Alright. And now I've turned off the heat for the sauce, and that's it. That is the sauce. Let me taste it. Oh yeah. That's the sauce. I'm going to clean up a little bit so I can ready the plating area. And also turn off the heat for this. Get my colander out. It tastes really good, Venetia. I'm really excited for you to try it. Alright, so I have gone ahead and don't need that soy sauce at all. I have gone ahead and ran my noodles under cold water, and right now, get that perfect chewy texture. It's really good. Okay. Dang! I don't think this stream is even gonna last until 7:30. I'm already done. Get some water for myself. Yeah, this is such a fast recipe. I'm not even joking. Like, literally from start to finish, it was like 54 minutes. Like, it's a really simple down home recipe, and I don't know, it's one of my favorite dishes. So yeah. I mean, fast is cool, right? Like, I just made a meal from scratch in under an hour. So, yeah. Huh. You know what I'm gonna do since so we're good on time, I'm actually gonna cook some veggies. I have some frozen broccoli. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take the noodle pot that I was cooking in already. And I'm just gonna go ahead and boil or cook up some broccoli to go with the noodles. Because why not? I mean, we have the time. This is me cooking on the fly. Yes, veggies are a good idea. Because, like I said, technically you're supposed to garnish this with, like, julienne cucumbers. But I forgot to buy cucumbers. So, I'm just going to do it with a side dish of broccoli. Yeah!